Hello everyone, my name is Sofia and today we're going to talk about Grice cooperative principles and the four conversational maxims: quantity, quality, relation, and manner. The cooperative principle proposed by Paul Grice says that when people talk, they usually try to cooperate to make communication clear and meaningful. Here we have our participants who will be explaining to us each of the maxims: Nilce, Ingrid, Anna, and Carmen. So let's start with the first maxim, quantity. Ingrid, could you explain to us what it is?
Of course. So, as Sophia mentioned earlier, Paul Grice believed that there are some maxims people have to follow in order to have a meaningful and effective conversation. The first one is the maxim of quantity, which is basically saying the information that is needed, no more and no less.
That's really interesting. Could you share with us an example of this?
Yeah, so have you ever seen how military people talk? They are really precise and go straight to the point they have to make. They don't waste time in unnecessary remarks. So instead of saying, I think there might be someone going into this area, they would say, movement detected is entrance to individuals.
I understand. That's a real nice example because militaries always try to keep it short and straight. Now, let's continue with the maxim quality. Nilse will be explaining to us what it is.
Sure. The maxim of quality means to say what you believe is true without lying or giving false information. For example, if a friend asks, have you seen my keys? And you say no because you really haven't, you are following this maxim. But if you say no and you have actually seen them, you're violating the maxim of quality.
So, when we are not honest, we are breaking this maxim? That's pretty intriguing. A conversation can turn completely different depending on if we follow or not this. Now, we continue with Anna, who will be explaining to us the maxim relation.
Thank you, Sophia. The maximum of relation, also known as the maximum of relevance, means that we should say things that are related to the topic of the conversation. In simple words, what we say should make sense in that moment and connect to what the other person just said. For example, if someone asks, what time is the meeting? And you ask what it starts at 3 p.m., you are following the maxim because your answer is relevant. But if you are word, I really like pizza, you are not being relevant. So you are relating the maxim of relation.
Oh, I see. So if we change the topic suddenly without any connection, we are breaking this maxim, right?
Yeah, exactly. When we don't respond with something connected to the conversation, communication can become a little confusing.
That makes a lot of sense. Finally, let's move on to the last maxim, the maxim of manner. Carmen, could you explain it to us?
Sure. Now, manner isn't about which word you use at a fancy dinner. In discourse analysis, it's all about how you say what you say. Grice says be suspicious. And essentially, there are four vibe checks you have to pass to follow this maxim. First, don't be obscure. Don't use word your listener won't get. Don't be ambiguous, so don't be wishy-washy. Also, be brief, and it means don't lose the thread of the conversation. And finally, be orderly. Tell the story in order.
Let's look at examples so we can really get it.
Yeah. So think about a cooking tutorial on TikTok. If the creator says bake it at 350, but first mix the flour, oh, and make sure you preheat the oven before you start, your brain is going to short circuit. So they are violating the maxim by not being orderly. And we expect people to follow a timeline.
So the next time you are annoyed because a friend is taking forever to get to the point, just remember
They aren't just being annoying, they are literally violating a linguistic maxim. So you aren't being impatient, your brain is just tired of doing their work for them. Okay, so in conclusion,
Grice cooperative principle and the four maxims help us understand how conversation work in real life. When we have the right amount of information, tell the truth, stay relevant, and speak clearly, communication becomes easier and more effective. If we don't follow these maxims, misunderstandings can happen. That will be all. Thank you for your attention and have an excellent night. Thank you.